Hello, this is a short video presentation on factoring by reverse FOIL. The majority of the factoring that you will do in mathematics is by this method. Although what we're going to do today will be the simplest way to do it, the problems will get increasingly more complicated. So if we're going to factor by reverse FOIL, we need to first of all review FOILing. So if I have x plus 4 times x plus 7, if you remember when we FOILed, we took x times x, got x squared. We took x times 7, 7x, 4 times x plus 4x, and finally 4 times 7 is 28. We added these two terms together and we got x squared plus 11x plus 28. Now, where did this x squared come from? It came from the x and the x. Where did the 28 come from? It came from the 4 times the 7. And lastly, the 11x came from the 4x and the 7x. So when we factor, what we're going to, let me back up a second. If you remember from the last video, when we factor, we take an expression and we write it as a product of factors. So x plus 4 times x plus 7, x plus 4 times x plus 7, this is factored. I am going to give you this problem, and you are going to give me this. You're going to write this as a product of two factors. You're going to undo this FOILing process. Okay? So let's look at a few quick examples. First one is x squared plus 8x plus 15. Now, all the problems you're going to have today have a coefficient of the leading coefficient of 1. I mean, I don't write it in there, but it's there. Also, in your homework, I'm going to have equals 0. Now, whether I put the equals 0 or not, it doesn't change the process. All right, now let's factor. What times what gives me x squared? X and x. Today it'll always be that. What times what gives me 15? Well, you have a choice. 5 and 3 or 15 and 1. What do you want to use? All right. If we go, don't write this down because it's wrong. If we use 15 and 1 and we check, we have 15x and 1x, double smiley face. Whoops. Double smiley face, and that gives us 15x and 1x is 16x. I want 8x. Clearly that was not a good idea. So we'll erase the 15, erase the 1, and we'll try the 5 and the 3. 5x plus 3x gives me 8x. 5x plus the 3x, 5 plus 3 is 8. That's what I wanted. This is my answer. All right. Thing that you need to also pay very close attention to is these signs. They could be both positive, they could be both negative, they could be one positive and one negative. For instance, x minus, oops, I'm giving you the answer. Don't want to do that. X squared minus 9x plus 14. Now, when you factor, We know we're going to have x and x. Because this is a positive, both numbers need to be positive or both numbers need to be negative. Since this is positive and this is negative, both numbers are going to be negative. What gives us 14? 7 times 2. And now we check. Minus 7x minus 2x is minus 9x. It's what we want. We're done. All right. Next one. X squared. Hold on a sec. Okay. Next example is x squared, not x cubed, we'll see that for a while. X squared plus 3x minus 28. And again, we could have 0 in there or not have 0. It's not going to change anything. All right, what times what gives us x squared? X and x. Now 28, we could use 28 and 1, 14 and 2, 7 and 4, and that's it. But since this is a negative, right here, change the color there, since that's a negative, one of these is going to have to be positive and one's going to have to be negative. Now, it doesn't really matter which way it goes because you're going to check. All right? Now, I usually start with the numbers that are closest together. Doesn't always work that way, but more often than not it does. So I'm going to go with 7 here and a 4 here. Don't do this in pen because it's wrong. We have positive 4x and a negative 7x add up to be negative 3x. I want a positive 3x. All you have to do is make this a positive and make this a negative. That's all you have to do. Now it's negative 4, positive 7 gives us positive 3. Always check and pay close attention to your signs. Last one, x squared plus 4x, x squared minus 4x minus 12. And again, we could have equals 0. I don't care. Later on, it'll be important. We factor, put our parentheses, x and x, and what gives us negative 12? Well, there's going to be a negative and a positive. Now we could go with 12 and 1, 6 and 2, 4 and 3. All right? You choose. All right? But again, I said I like to start with the smallest numbers. It doesn't always work. In this case, it does not work. Minus 4 plus 3, double smiley face, minus 4x plus 3x is minus 1x. I want a negative 4. Didn't work. So now I'm going to go with the 6 and the 2. I'm going to erase my numbers. And I'm going to use 6 and 2. Minus 6 plus 2 gives me a negative 6. Positive 2 gives me negative 4. I'm good to go. All right. I hope this helps and have a great day.